What is going on, world? What's up, YouTube? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new episode of The 8 Below Show. Welcome everyone to 8 Below. Thanks for being here, guys, to the best entertainment related show here on YouTube. And I'm super excited about our episode here today. We have a lot of stuff to talk about, so let's get into it. In this first segment of the show, we're going to be talking about Mia Khalifa, guys, and what happened to her story here. I think it's something that we definitely want to talk about here on the YouTube channel, different personalities and kind of what they're doing now. We've talked about a number of different personalities in the entertainment industry as a whole, whether we're talking TV, movies, YouTube, and things of that nature. And Mia Khalifa has been one of those controversial figures in the space, and I want to talk about what happened to her and what is she doing now. And I would love to hear your guys' thoughts about it in the comment section down below. So let's get into it. So guys, in an article written by Morning Picker, here is why Mia Khalifa left the adult film industry. So Mia Khalifa, guys, was a member, or really partook and was an actress, so to speak, in the adult film industry. And she was for a while. She grew to fame in around 2014, and she absolutely blew up on the scene. So many people talked about her. She became the biggest adult film actress in the world very quickly after starting. But that being said, former adult star Mia Khalifa was born in Beirut, Lebanon on February 10th, 1993. She was raised in a Christian family was moved to the United States of America in 2000. She joined the adult industry in the month of October in 2014, though she was a part of it for a few months and soon left it in 2015. She became the #1 performer in December of 2014, 2 months after joining. Now, one of her adult films where she was seen wearing Islamic apparel, guys, was, though appreciated by many due to her performance, but many were also very much so offended. Obviously, guys, those, of course, many people thought that it was very offensive for her to do that. The film also starred another star who was wearing similar apparel as well. And, she played Khalifa's stepmother in this video in particular. Khalifa responded to criticism, saying that the film was supposed to be satirical, and Hollywood portrays the Islamic religion in a much more derogatory manner than what was shown in her film. In a recent interview with Lance Armstrong on his podcast Forward, Khalifa revealed the real reason behind leaving the adult industry within months of joining it. Apparently, guys, she had been getting death threats, which made her very worried, scared. She accepted in her interview that all the threats and hatred bothered her to an extent that she decided to leave the work. That being said, during her chat with Armstrong, she also expressed her regret of ever being a part of this industry. She called herself 21 and dumb. She said that the adult film industry was never her intention. The moment she started receiving stardom in this area, she decided to leave. She felt that adult film was not the solution to what she was looking for to boost her self-confidence. In fact, she presently is working towards changing her image in the society. Despite leaving the industry 5 years back, Khalifa has managed to maintain her popularity on social media with over 2 million followers on Twitter and about 5.6 million followers on Instagram, which has led her, guys, to what she is doing now. Which, look, here's the deal. If there are people who want to be in the adult film industry, that's fine, guys. I mean, everybody, there is such a thing as, being able to do what it is that you want in life and kind of chase your dreams and things of that nature. But many of us have made, changes through life, right? Career changes. And Mia Khalifa is one of those instances. And I love this because she didn't really love being in the adult film industry. So she decided to take her talents elsewhere to do something that she really wanted to. She rose to fame from the adult film industry, but then is using a lot of those followers and things of that nature to promote other ventures that she's interested in. And I love this because we've seen this a lot. This has happened, whether we're talking about the adult film industry or other industries in general. People will go into an industry, may not like it as much as they thought they would, and they transition to something else. And I think that's what makes us human, and being able to have that free will to kind of do what it is that you want. And that being said, after 3 months working as an adult film actor, Khalifa worked in Miami as a paralegal and bookkeeper. She transitioned into a career as a social media personality, webcam model, and sports commentator. She runs a YouTube channel, live streams on Twitch, and performed as a webcam model. Sells photo shoots, merchandise, and access to exclusive content on membership website Patreon. Sold explicit photo shoots and videos on the social media website Findro. She and Gilbert Arenas hosted Out of Bounds, a daily sports show on Complex News' YouTube channel from October 2017 to February 2018. She's really big into sports, guys, which I think is awesome. Khalifa was announced to co-host Sports Ball alongside Tyler Coe, with its second season premiering July 16, 2018, exclusively on Rooster Teeth. Its final episode was released on October 30th, 2018. In May of 2020, she had a guest appearance as herself in the Hulu show Ramy. Now, look, guys, I think what's interesting is that she really wanted to change her image. Now, look, you're always going to have that past, right? With anything, okay? The decisions that you make throughout the course of life are going to lead you to one way or another, and people are going to view you a certain way, and they may not forget about those things that you did in the past, which a lot of people have not forgotten Mia Khalifa's past. But that being said, there's no saying that you can't change the path for the future, and that's exactly what she's doing. And I love this. I really do. I love that, you know what, she decided that she didn't like it. If she liked the adult film industry, great for her, but she didn't like it, so she decided, instead of just kind of sitting in that complacency of being a part of that industry, she decided to try to change her life in a positive way in her mind. And obviously now she's being featured on podcasts, doing YouTube, Twitch, and I think that's awesome that she's doing something now that she truly enjoys. And I think that that's, like I said, what really makes us human, guys, is that you have choices, right? Especially now more than ever, as far as with social media, YouTube and Twitch and all these different platforms that you can express yourself. There's so many more options than ever before to do that. And so good on Mia Khalifa for doing that. But I would love to see you and hear from you guys. What do you guys think about the whole situation with Mia Khalifa leaving the adult film industry? And what do you think of other people doing this, whether it's the adult film industry or other industries as a whole? What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comment section down below. Let's have a real conversation about it. And for more content like this, guys, stay here with Zero TV. So with DC Fandom wrapped up, I wanted to talk about a couple of the things that got announced at DC Fandom. Even though the actual event itself was pretty slow throughout most of the actual runtime, it ran about over 4 hours, and it was pretty slow most of the time, but a couple of the trailers that they did show off, I was really excited about. One of those being Black Adam, guys. Black Adam, I was really skeptical about. I was kind of wondering, is this something that I'm really going to be interested in? And after watching the teaser of this movie, it is one of my most anticipated movies of the future. Let's talk about it. So, guys, this is coming to us from Eric Francisco of Inverse. Black Adam teaser shows The Rock does everything Superman can, but better. Dwayne Johnson has said the hierarchy of power in the DC universe will change with Black Adam. Finally, at DC Fandom, we can see what he's talking about. So, obviously, guys, DC Fandom happened. Ever his own best hype man, Johnson promised the film, directed by regular collaborator Jean Colette Serra, will be worth the wait. It's still in post-production and not yet ready yet to show a full trailer, but on the occasion of DC Fandom, I felt like I had to bring you guys just a little something special, Johnson said. And guys, the scene previews the movie's opening, which Johnson explained shows him in full costume as Black Adam. When archaeologists and a squadron of gun-toting mercenaries stumble upon an ancient ruin, they awaken Black Adam. And Johnson demonstrates Black Adam's superhero abilities early on, including super strength, speed, and invincibility. somewhat like Superman. And what I gotta say, guys, is in the sequence that they showed where he grabs one of the mercenaries and just like electrocutes this guy in a pretty brutal fashion. And we'll talk about the Batman later on, but I gotta tell you, I get like certain vibes as well from Black Adam that give me a sense of, is this going to be an R-rated Black Adam, and is the Batman going to be an R-rated Batman? I would love to see it because it looks like they're really taking a very dark type of style, which with Black Adam, similar to what they're doing with the Batman. And I love this for DC because you got Marvel, which is a little bit more lighthearted, kind of for everyone. These ones, that being DC, feel like more mature kind of rated films here, which makes me very, very excited. That being said, Black Adam debuted in DC Comics as a villain for Captain Marvel. Not the MCU heroine you're thinking of, but the DC superhero now known as Shazam. Black Adam's popularity has allowed him to thrive as his own entity, starring in some of his solo comic books and as the main character in Geoff Johns' run on JSA in the mid-2000s. Black Adam's presence in JSA saw him shift from villain to anti-hero, following Black Adam to take on more complicated moral shades than your average superhero. With Johnson in the role, Black Adam will undoubtedly be a superhero unlike any we've seen before. And the Black Adam segment of DC fandom opened up, funnily enough, with Pierce Brosnan. The actor said that despite playing James Bond for 10 years, his role as Dr. Fate in Black Adam took him by surprise. Guys, Black Adam's got a really nice stellar cast. I think that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is the perfect guy for Black Adam. I'm so excited about this title. I did not think I would be as excited as I am now, but this is one of those trailers that really got me hooked now, and I can't wait to see more information about it as it comes out. So Dwayne Johnson playing the lead in Black Adam is unbelievably exciting, if only because Johnson is finally inhabiting a superhero role he says he was born to play. Thus far, Johnson's hype for Black Adam has involved more than a few jabs at Superman. Johnson has frequently spoken about changing the hierarchy of power in the DC universe. If Superman is on top, Johnson has said that his Black Adam will threaten to change that. So Black Adam will open in theaters on July 29th, 2022. So summer of 2022, guys, is when we can expect this film. So outside of just a teaser trailer and, you know, the actors and actresses talking a little bit about Black Adam, there's still a lot of mystery to this movie as a whole, but I love where he says that the hierarchy of power in the DC universe is going to change forever. And what's interesting about that, guys, is that Black Adam, is this going to be that anti-hero, that villain that takes on some of these other characters like the Batman, Superman, and all of that? And it's going to be something very interesting to see, because I'm wondering if Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has signed a multi-year deal with DC to play Black Adam, like a multitude of movies. I would love to see them with the new Batman coming out, with The Flash, and all these different movies that are coming out, even though it's a little bit convoluted because The Flash is going to have Michael Keaton's Batman. The Batman's kind of like its own separate thing, it seems like, at this point in time. It's going to be interesting how they play it, but I would love to see somewhat of a kind of like, this is a foundation for how they can approach the future, similar to what Marvel did when they started with Iron Man, and as they went, it kind of led us all the way to Avengers Endgame, which was kind of the end of Phase 1. Now we're going into Phase 2, obviously. I'm hoping that they're doing that here with DC, because I've always felt that DC tried to skip a lot of the steps that Marvel took to kind of build their cinematic universe by inserting Justice League so early on without really introducing the characters to everyone like they had done in Marvel, or Marvel had done with their characters, and really built the entire foundation before even ever getting to the Avengers. So I'm hoping that they're doing that here with DC. I'm hoping that they kind of play their cards right, where they kind of build these characters out before they start really having a lot of collaborations and things of that nature to build another Justice League, essentially. But nonetheless, Black Adam, guys, one of my most anticipated movies of the future, and definitely one of my most anticipated movies of next summer. But let me know what you guys think about Black Adam and what we know so far about it. Let's have a real conversation about it. And for more Black Adam content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. The Flash was obviously showcased at DC Fandom in not a major way, but in a minor way. I think a lot of us wanted to see more from The Flash, especially with all the delays and things of that nature. We were definitely hoping to see more of The Flash. Even though we were all really excited to see the Batman, The Flash was one that we also wanted to see. And even though they didn't show us as much as we wanted from DC Fandom, there are a couple of things that definitely we could take from the trailer and some things that are definitely exciting and mysterious at the same time. So I wanted to talk about everything that we know so far about The Flash, and I would love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. So let's get into it. So, guys, in an article written by David Miller of Screen Rant, The Flash will feature Supergirl and Michael Keaton's long-awaited return to the role of Batman. So Ezra Miller will return as Barry Allen in the upcoming DCEU film The Flash. As here's everything we know about the story so far, Ezra Miller's iteration of The Flash was first teased in Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice, before making his first full appearance in Justice League, a role that was later improved and expanded on in the director's cut, Zack Snyder's Justice League. With his first solo film set to release in 2022, Ezra's next performance is highly anticipated, as it will also see the long-awaited return of Michael Keaton as the Batman of Tim Burton's classic films. So, first of all, guys, Ezra Miller, to me, is a fantastic actor. I think he's the perfect Flash. I've been very excited about the Flash movie. However, here are a couple of things that concern me a little bit about this title and just about the DC Cinematic Universe as a whole. One of the things that is concerning to me, guys, is even though it's great that Michael Keaton is coming back as Batman, how is this going to really fit into the overarching, legacy and story that the DCEU is trying to tell? We'll have to kind of wait and see, but I don't really like it so much from my perspective. The reason being, the Batman's coming out. And I know that the Batman is a standalone. It's not necessarily in the DCEU, but I kind of wish it was, because I would like to see Robert Pattinson's Batman in all of these movies, kind of like, so there's some consistency here, similar to what we've seen in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I would like to have seen Robert Pattinson in these titles instead of Michael Keaton, because then you start getting not necessarily confused, but it kind of gets convoluted when you got a number of different Batmans. There's talk of Ben Affleck coming back to play a couple of roles, obviously, as the Batman, and you've got the solo Batman movie that's being made with Robert Pattinson and Matthew Reeves. This just concerns me a little bit, because I just want them to really do, even though I don't want them to copy and paste what Marvel did, I want them to really build the story out before they bring out another Justice League 2. And when they do bring out another Justice League, who's going to be the Batman in that Justice League? Is it going to be Ben Affleck? Is it going to be Michael Keaton? Is it going to be Robert Pattinson? And that's what gets concerning. Now, we've got similar concerns with Spider-Man Far From Home. A lot of talk, No Way Home. There's a lot of talk in Spider-Man No Way Home that you've got all three Spider-Mans. You've got Tobey Maguire, you've got Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland Spider-Man all in that movie. That would get a little bit confusing, depending on how they do it, of course. That is just kind of my knee-jerk reaction to this. Even though I'm excited to see Michael Keaton back, it's just kind of a weird way of them doing it, and how is that going to look? I feel like it would have made a lot more sense to have Ben Affleck's Batman in this one than Michael Keaton's. But nonetheless, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts about that in the comment section down below. The Barry Allen version of the beloved Scarlet Speedster debuted in 1956, and since his inception, alternate timelines in the multiverse have always been closely tied to his character and stories. The very first iteration of The Flash was Jay Garrick, whose 1940s Golden Age adventures are referenced in Barry's first appearance. This might have been confusing at first, given that both Jay and Barry knew and worked alongside Superman, but this was explained in 1961's Flash of Two Worlds, a historic story that popularized the concept of alternate universes in the superhero genre. Barry and Jay were each the Flash in their respective realities in each new version of Superman. Their powers allowed them to visit each other's universes and work together on occasion. So, okay. We obviously see Barry Allen. He creates a new Flash costume. Barry Allen wore a new version of his classic superhero costume in both versions of Justice League and a brief cameo in Suicide Squad. The outfit was, as described by Bruce Wayne, able to resist extreme cold and comparable friction to what space shuttles experience during re-entry. In addition to being extremely protective of Barry, the suit was stylish, keeping the signature red color and lightning bolt logo while appearing more armored than the comic version. As shown in the Fandom preview, Barry will be getting a new and even more comic-accurate suit in 2022's The Flash, and there's a fascinating potential reason why. And I love the new suit as well. During the Arrowverse's Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover event, the TV version of Barry Allen, played by Grant Gustin, briefly spoke to the Ezra Miller iteration. Each version of Barry complemented the other's costume, noting the protectiveness of the DCEU suit and the comfort and sleekness of the Arrowverse costume. Barry's new suit in The Flash may be inspired by his brief interaction with his Arrowverse counterpart. So this is what I'm getting at, guys. This is where it gets a little bit confusing for me and why I don't like that they're almost trying to complicate things too much. I'll give you an example. Obviously, with this TV version of Barry Allen, and then you've got Ezra Miller's version in this, his iteration in it as well. It starts confusing kind of the narrative somewhat when you got the TV as well as the movies, and then it's almost like you have to watch the show to understand what's kind of going on potentially with the movie. Then you got Michael Keaton as Batman, Ben Affleck coming back as Batman, Robert Pattinson as Batman. It just gets a little bit too convoluted, and that's my biggest concern for The Flash, is that we're going to kind of lose sight of the Flash, and it's going to be, the eyes are going to be put on other things like Michael Keaton's Batman, for example. And those are things that really, really concern me about this. And not just the Flash, guys, but the other DCEU movies. Because what are they going to do with those ones, like Black Adam? Even the Batman, even though it's a solo, like, Batman movie, which is going to get a trilogy, apparently, it still concerns me about what they're going to try to seep into the Batman at some point or another. So, the Fandom trailer for The Flash also reveals that Barry may travel back in time to prevent his mother's death. This is similar to the 2011 comic storyline called Flashpoint, in which Barry's attempts to save his mother wreak havoc on the timeline, creating an apocalyptic present day that he must reverse, along with defeating his nemesis, the Reverse Flash. The comic version of Flashpoint resulted in a major continuity reboot for the DC Universe, which was relaunched under the New 52 line. If The Flash is a live-action adaptation of DC Comics' story Flashpoint, there may be significant ramifications for the DCEU. So, time travel, it's interesting, guys. I like the concept of time travel. I love it, and I think it's a part of what The Flash is, so I'm totally on board with that. Now we get to The Flash meets Michael Keaton's Batman. The most anticipated story detail of The Flash is the return of Michael Keaton's Batman. Debuting in Tim Burton's game-changing 1989 superhero film, Michael Keaton played a soft-spoken, tortured, and surprisingly humorous version of Bruce Wayne and Batman. After two classic films and a phenomenal ongoing comic series by Sam Hamm and Joe Quinones, the Burton iteration of Batman will appear in The Flash, thanks to Barry's ability to travel across the multiverse. When Michael Keaton was announced to be reprising his famous role, some believed that he'd have only a brief cameo, but the Fandom trailer suggests otherwise. Keaton's Batman provided the voice over the footage, and much of its runtime was spent in the Burton version of Wayne Manor and the Batcave. Batman himself only appears briefly at the end of the footage, but his voiceover suggests that he's aware of Barry's multiverse-spanning adventures, and Barry speaks to him, asking him, "You in?" With The Flash seeming to be an adaptation of Flashpoint, Barry might be unable to return to his original timeline as a result of his actions, and Keaton's Batman may become an ally in his quest to repair it. In Flashpoint, Barry worked alongside an alternate version of Batman, now Thomas Wayne, having witnessed his son Bruce get murdered in a twist on the classic Batman origin. Flashpoint's Batman was far more bitter and brutal than the mainstream version, so Keaton's Batman could be a fitting choice to play that role in the movie. So here we go with like the different alternate universes and all of that. It's an interesting concept, guys, but like I said, it just gets to a point where, is it going to get too convoluted? Now, hey, maybe they're going to do it perfect, guys, and it's going to be awesome, where it's going to make total sense and we're all going to be totally on board with it. I know a lot of you are on board with it. I'm not quite sold on the concept of Michael Keaton coming back as Batman. However, I'm totally open to the idea to see kind of what DC does. I hope they prove me wrong as far as, making it a little bit too convoluted. Now, The Flash also meets an alternate Flash and Supergirl. Another noteworthy moment in the DC fandom footage was a shot of Barry Allen flanked by Supergirl and what appears to be another version of himself, also played by Ezra Miller. While Supergirl might be from another timeline, her Kryptonian outfit and House of L chest symbol suggests that she's part of the main DCEU like Barry. Supergirl's existence in the DCEU was confirmed in a Man of Steel prequel comic, and some believe that she was teased in the film when Clark explores the Fortress of Solitude. Given Barry's timeline meddling, another version of Barry Allen, perhaps from a slightly different version of the DCEU, or a different part of its timeline is unsurprising. Given the story details teasing its fandom footage, The Flash is sure to be one of DCEU's most exciting installments yet. And I agree, this could be a really exciting installment, but I am concerned about it. I do want to hear from you guys, though. What do you guys think about it? Are you guys, kind of on the same page as I am? Do you think totally different than I am? I would love to hear your guys' thoughts about it in the comment section down below. At the end of the day, guys, I'm still very excited about The Flash. I'm just wondering, how are they going to fit all these pieces together? It'll be interesting to see. Let me know. And for more The Flash content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. My favorite superhero is Batman, guys. And that being said, when the Batman was announced, I was a little bit skeptical. With Robert Pattinson being the Batman, even though I think Robert Pattinson's come a long way as an actor, I didn't know if he fit the Batman. And then Matt Reeves, of course, I thought was a great director, a great choice there. Andy Serkis and a number of other actors and actresses that are a part of this movie. I was pretty excited about it. And then after watching the initial trailer, and then especially the trailer that came at DC Fandom, I am totally sold and bought into Robert Pattinson being the Batman and to just the Batman as a whole. I am so excited about this title. Easily one of my most anticipated movies of next year. And I want to talk about everything that we know now about the Batman. So let's get into it. So guys, in an article that was written by Quincy Lagarde of Bazaar, the DC hero will return to theaters in March of 2022. The Batman is finally coming to theaters. The fan-favorite DC hero is returning to the silver screen next year in the first solo Batman film since 2012's The Dark Knight Rises. In the film, written and directed by Dawn of the Planet of the Apes director Matt Reeves, we'll see a young Batman face off against several legendary comic book villains as he attempts to clean up Gotham City. So, after several pandemic-related delays, Warner Brothers has set the film's theatrical release for March 4th of 2022. DC recently shared several peeks from the film, including character posters for Batman and legendary villain, the Riddler. Robert Pattinson will play a younger version of the masked hero. The Batman will introduce a new standalone version of the hero played by Twilight and Good Time actor Robert Pattinson. This version of The Dark Knight skips the origin story, instead following Bruce Wayne 1 year into his tenure as the masked hero. As well as matching the film's dark tone, Pattinson's Batman will also be a bit more unhinged than previous versions. And I gotta agree, guys. I mean, look. Very dark. And this is what the Batman to me feels like, is a character that is still trying to figure it out as Batman, and is trying to kind of get over a lot of the things from his troubled past. And you could kind of just tell from how, dirty he was to just how dark and gloomy the character seems, to even the fight sequences that we saw in the trailers. Absolutely unbelievable. I cannot wait to see this version of Batman. And this very well, guys, I know we talk about this a lot, and a lot of folks believe that the Batman will be rated PG-13. But I would love to see the Batman be rated R. Same thing with Black Adam. I would love to see Black Adam being an R-rated version. Just from seeing these trailers, they look dark, but they seem very violent, visceral, and just dark as a whole. And I would just really like to see an R-rated version where they don't have to hold back necessarily on the gore, the brutality. I think that would be absolutely huge for these two movies. I don't know if Warner Brothers is going to take that risk, though. We'll have to kind of wait and see. Zoe Kravitz will play Selina Kyle, also known as Catwoman. The Big Little Lies and High Fidelity actress will play the expert burglar and anti-hero, a role previously played by Michelle Pfeiffer, Halle Berry, and Anne Hathaway. Ahead of the full trailer, Reeves dropped a new look at the actress with the caption, "Meet Selina Kyle." Now, there will be multiple Batman villains will show up in the film. Really quick, though, guys, Kravitz, I'm very excited as her as Catwoman. I think she's going to be fantastic. Now, Reeves' film will feature several legendary Batman villains. Both the Riddler, played by Paul Dano, and the Penguin, an unrecognizable Colin Farrell, show up in the trailer, though plot details are mostly unknown. The Knight of John Turturro is also set to appear as Gotham City mob boss Carmine Falcone. Which is really, really exciting, guys. Other members of the cast include Andy Serkis as Bruce Wayne's butler, Alfred Pennyworth, Jeffrey Wright as Police Detective James Gordon, Peter Sarsgaard as District Attorney Gil Colson, and Jamie Lawson as Merrill candidate Bella Real. So let's talk about Paul Dano. Paul Dano as the Riddler. I'm excited to see this, guys. I think that he's going to be the perfect Riddler. The Penguin, Colin Farrell, is unrecognizable. There's no getting around it. I thought the lines that we heard him say in the trailer from DC Fandom were fantastic. I cannot wait to see him as the Penguin. And Andy Serkis as Alfred Pennyworth. I mean, guys, it's awesome. I think that it's going to be perfect. I think it could be very, very much so perfect. The Batman will be a standalone film outside of the DC Extended Universe. The Batman went through several changes during its long development. It was set to star Ben Affleck, who would also write and direct. The Good Will Hunting actor is the most recent Batman, playing the Caped Crusader in 2016's Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, and 2017's Justice League. However, when Reeves came onto the project, he wanted to focus on a younger Batman, and Affleck dropped out, with Pattinson then winning the role. Though Pattinson's making his Batman debut in March, Affleck isn't done playing the hero. Basically, Affleck will continue to be the Batman of the DC Extended Universe, and Pattinson's version will exist in its own standalone world. Affleck is even set to appear in the upcoming The Flash film, and he'll probably get his own solo Batman film at some point. So, look, that's where it gets a little bit confusing. The Batman being a solo film, I don't know if I really like it, guys. I really kind of want Robert Pattinson's Batman to be in these other movies to kind of help continue building the DC Extended Universe. That being said, though, Ben Affleck is a fantastic Batman. I believe he's the best Batman we have had to date. Even though I like Christian Bale's movies more, Ben Affleck's Batman is the best that there is. Robert Pattinson, we'll have to kind of wait and see with that. But that's where it gets a little bit convoluted, where you have Ben Affleck as the Batman in the DC Extended Universe, and then Michael Keaton's also going to be in that, being in The Flash. And then you've got Robert Pattinson's Batman in just The Batman. And so the question is it the Batman and Joker? Are those going to be in the same universe? What's this all going to turn out to be? That's the big question mark, guys, and we're going to be finding out about it here shortly, because March 4th, we're going to be seeing, of course, the Batman. You've got Black Adam that's going to be coming out, The Flash. All these movies are going to be coming out, so we're going to get a lot of answers to some of our questions that we have. But so far, guys, the Batman is my most anticipated movie of 2022. So excited about it, guys. DC Fandom, even though I didn't like the event overall, The Batman, The Flash, and Black Adam, 3 movies I am very, very excited to see. Let me know, though, guys, in the comment section down below, what do you guys think about the Batman being that, the next, this up-and-coming, title from DC in this universe? Robert Pattinson playing as the Batman. What do you guys think about it? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more The Batman content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. Justice League, guys, that came out, I believe, was pretty forced when this movie came out. They kind of forced a lot of these characters together, and then you have the Justice League that, kind of followed up Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, which I thought was a major misfire. Justice League even being a bigger misfire, in my opinion. And then you got Zack Snyder's, of course, Justice League, which I thought was definitely a step in the right direction. But that being said, a lot of question marks around Justice League 2. Will we get a Justice League 2? That's what we're going to be talking about in this segment of the show. So let's get into it. In an article, guys, written by Richard Fink of Screen Rant, Justice League 2 producer thinks that the sequel will come in a number of years. So Justice League 2 Might be a few years away, says producer Charles Roven. Justice League was released in 2017 to a mixed critical and audience response, and Warner Brothers opted to move away from a closely interconnected DCEU and worked on more standalone films. The Justice League was given the spotlight once more when, after years of campaigning for it, Zack Snyder's Justice League was finally released on HBO Max, which, by the way, guys, they should have been doing more standalone films in the first place before introducing Justice League. They should have done the Batman, they should have done Flash, they should have done Cyborg, Harley Quinn, all of these before Justice League even came out. So they kind of supported Justice League, so people kind of are following these narratives as you get to Justice League, similar to what Marvel did. Even though you don't want to necessarily copy Marvel completely, the fact of the matter is what Marvel did, the blueprint that they put together works, and it's worked in a major way for them. That being said, Justice League 2 was originally announced to be released on June 14, 2019, but Warner Brothers chose to focus on Justice League being one film, and the release date abdicated. Zack Snyder's well-documented plans for a second Justice League and third film would have seen the League fighting the Legion of Doom and Darkseid, and the New Gods being a primary threat in the third film. However, those sequel plans remain unlikely because Snyder has stepped away from Warner Brothers in favor of Netflix. Zack Snyder's Justice League is considered non-canon to Warner Brothers. Executives Ray Fisher stepped down from the role of Cyborg due to Walter Hamada's continued involvement with Warner Brothers, and no word remains on Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck's status as Superman and Batman, respectively. So first of all, Zack Snyder's Justice League was awesome, guys. The Snyderverse, okay? A lot of, even though I don't believe necessarily in the Snyderverse, I believed in Zack Snyder's Justice League, and I thought it was very much so a step in the right direction. That being said, I do not like Zack Snyder being in the comic book space, okay? Even though I liked him with 300, I thought Watchmen was good. I liked some of his films. I did not think that he should be that guy for the Justice League, or even Batman versus Superman for that matter. A lot of the stuff that the different types of camera angles and the story, the narratives and things of that nature that he uses, a lot of slow-mo, I just did not like the style of which Zack Snyder creates his movies. That being said, for a superhero type of movie, I do not want to see Zack Snyder do Justice League 2. I would much rather see someone like Matt Reeves, or I would be awesome to see like a really prestigious director like Scorsese or someone, even though Scorsese is kind of against comic book films. But it would be awesome to see one of those guys take on Justice League. I do not want to see Zack Snyder make another one. I thought Zack Snyder's Justice League was great in its own way, but I'd like them, if they're going to kind of separate the Justice League now, because obviously no more Ray Fisher, and other actors are looking to step away. Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck, we don't know what the status is there. I say, just kind of start fresh here. Let's kind of build this universe once again before you ever make another Justice League 2. And hopefully we get somebody like the Russo brothers, or someone who really knows the source material, but also has a certain style that is going to make sense for DC. Not something that's going to try to copy and paste what Marvel did, something a little bit different. I don't think Zack Snyder is that guy. That being said, it appears a lot of these factors may give Warner Brothers some pause about a Justice League 2. Justice League producer Charles Rover recently told THR that he would want to return for both a follow-up to The Suicide Squad as well as a Justice League sequel. He did indicate, however, that it could be years away, though he didn't specify exactly how long, as it has already been 4 years since the theatrical release of the first film. So, number one, I want Justice League 2 to be years away, guys, and the reason being because I want them to build the cinematic universe once again in DC. I want them to really build it so that we really latch onto the characters and all of their storylines kind of merge, and then you've got Justice League 2, and it makes a lot more sense. In the next few years, the DCEU will be expanding with more heroes joining the fray. Since Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and The Flash united together in the first Justice League, characters like Shazam, the Birds of Prey, have joined the DCEU with Static Shock, Blue Beetle, Supergirl, Batgirl, and Zatanna, all expected to get films within the coming years. Katana from Suicide Squad tends to have ties to the various DC heroes, and Black Adam will introduce an incarnation of the JSA that includes long-standing members of the Justice League like Dr. Fate and Hawkman, who could easily cross over into other films. With these various heroes, a Justice League 2 could unite a new set of heroes that could generate audience excitement. So, the Suicide Squad could be a guide for what Warner Brothers eventually decides to do with the Justice League sequel. The 2016 Suicide Squad was a box office hit, but was a disappointment among critics and audiences, and Warner Brothers needed to rehabilitate the brand as there was still value in the concept. The Suicide Squad brings back 4 characters from the original film and trusts that audiences remember the basic concept, but is also allowed to be its own new take on the material that is more of a standalone and introduce a large number of new characters. Justice League 2 could also bring back fan favorites like Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman and Jason Momoa as Aquaman, and pair them with exciting new combinations like Zachary Levi's Shazam, Sasha Calle's Supergirl, and whoever else audience seemed to respond to. So, okay. The Suicide Squad, guys, okay? Suicide Squad, and this may be, an unpopular opinion, but the 2016 Suicide Squad by David Ayer, I didn't like it necessarily, but I liked it more than the Suicide Squad by James Gunn. I just don't feel like James Gunn should have done the Suicide Squad. Even though he had done Guardians of the Galaxy, sometimes I feel that directors will, if they're in one specific space for too long, they start kind of losing it almost, as far as losing their grasp on what has made their previous installment special. For example, James Gunn, I thought his best film that he's done in any cinematic universe was definitely Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. And Volume 2, of course, was pretty good as well. Thought the first one was the best without question. But he's kind of made a number of these superhero movies, and you could really tell, I thought, kind of just a lack of a number of different things in the Suicide Squad. Even though some of the concepts I liked, I just didn't even like it as much as 2016 Suicide Squad. Now, maybe it was because I liked Jared Leto's take on the Joker in Suicide Squad. Could have been a number of reasons. I'm not sure. But that being said, I think what DC's having a real problem with is actually getting the right directors for these projects. I feel that Zack Snyder should no longer be doing any more DC movies. James Gunn, I don't think should do any more. My thought is that Ben Affleck would be great. I would have loved to see The Batman written, directed by of course, Ben Affleck, and even acted as the Batman as well. I think that would have been great. But Ben Affleck being a director for one of these movies, I think would be really smart. When we look at like Justice League 2, Ben Affleck might be the guy for it. Clint Eastwood and Scorsese, Nolan, a lot of these guys, even though a lot of them very well may not want to do one of, a title like this, because Christopher Nolan already did 3 Batman movies, wants to do kind of his own original films. I feel like they are having trouble finding the right directors. It's not so much that they're having trouble finding the right actors and actresses to fill the roles. I just think they're having a tough time, that being DC and Warner Brothers, finding the right directors. Matt Reeves doing the Batman, I think that's a match made in heaven. So Matt Reeves, could he do Justice League 2? I think I would love to see that. But that being said, guys, I do think we will see Justice League 2 at some point. I just want them to take their time, build the universe as much as possible before bringing them all together. What do you guys think about it? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Justice League 2 content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. And with that being said, everyone, I hope you guys did enjoy this episode of the 8 Below Show. And if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, and as always, I'll talk to you guys all in the next one. Peace.